Hey, are you interested in learning a little bit more on how we tenant-proof all of our rental units immediately after purchasing them? If that is the case, you can see right now that I'm in a rental unit. I'm actually doing some painting today and I'm freaking exhausted. There's no AC here. It's hotter than hell out. But I'm gonna take you guys along on the journey. I'm gonna show you this place, what it actually looks like, and how you can duplicate this for yourself. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's get into it. So this place is a 1-bed, 1-bath upper unit, and then a 2-bed, 1-bath lower unit. And it's an upper lower duplex. We purchased it about 3 months ago for $35,000, and I'll pan to the exterior really quick so you guys can check that out. But the place needs all new siding. It needs a majority of the new windows. It needs paint, it needs kitchens, it needs bathrooms. It needs everything, and that's what we're planning on doing prior to even getting a tenant in here. So why we do that before getting a tenant in here is simple. Because after we do the complete remodel, after we face that huge upfront cost, we should be able to cash flow without any sort of repairs for probably 2 or possibly even 3 years, which is what it's all about. Because if that happens, if we're able to cash flow that amount of money, then we're gonna be making infinite returns from the beginning, because we'll probably burr this property. We're gonna pull out all of our equity that we had initially stuck into it, which is about 80 grand. But as you can tell, it's a cute little place. Like, there's nothing too crazy going on here. But let's check out the downstairs unit, because that one was in even worse condition than this one that I'm currently in. So I personally have not been in this lower unit since Katie and I cleaned it out. We ripped out the cabinets, we ripped out the disgusting cat stained carpeting, probably even dogs as well. It was freaking gross. I was kind of gagging. And my dad and actually my mom, she's helping us out during the summertime, and she's coming to work for us full time now. They kills the floor because it smelled so bad, and you can still see the residue coming through. And now we still need to do the full remodel down here, but I am leaning up against kitchen cabinets. We got some light fixtures down there. Obviously some countertops right here. We got a bunch of other stuff, but this place is pretty big. Like, this is a really decent sized unit. What color flooring are we going with? This actually might even be for the upper unit, so that's gonna be pretty. It's gonna match the color scheme, but I'm not trying to get decapitated by this old, disgusting fan. But you can see, obviously, we've torn out a lot of stuff. It smells a heck of a lot better than when I was in here the first time. But this entire floor needs new windows. This is 2-bed, 1-bath, like I had mentioned before, but it's going to be really nice when it's done. You saw the caving in ceiling right here in some of that B-roll footage. It doesn't look good. That's probably from an old sink leak or a toilet upstairs. That's roughly where it's located. So what I'm initially thinking for rental amounts on both units, upstairs roughly about $600. I believe we pay the water bill. I'm not 100% certain on that, but tenants pay gas and electric. There's separate meters there. And then the lower unit, we're gonna shoot for $750, possibly even $800, because this is a lot larger, even though it's an upper lower duplex, and that equates to roughly about $1,400 per month. So if you guys do the 1% rule for your properties, maybe a $140,000 duplex, I shoot for about the 1.25% rule. So hopefully this is worth about 120 grand. We can pull out some equity. If we're in for 80 grand, then we're sitting at about 66% loan to value, which is phenomenal for a burr deal. But you can only find deals like this if you're actually marketing for them. So this particular lead, it was a cold call. We had reached out to the guy, one of our callers did, and then Joe followed up on this one. He converted it. I never actually saw this place prior to purchasing it. Of course, it requires a little bit of legwork on our side, but I'm extremely excited for this one. And that brings me into the next topic of what are we initially looking for when we're walking through these upper lower duplexes, if they're older, if they're newer. And I'm gonna take you to another property to show you exactly what we're searching for. Real quick before I head over to the next duplex, I wanted to point something out while I'm outside. You see that old church right there? So I was actually inside of it with the owner. He's looking at selling that and the property next to him for $200,000, which seems like an extremely good deal. However, the church needs to be absolutely gutted. He had quotes for turning into 15 apartment units, but we're not in the development space. That's gonna be like $1.5 million renovation, and it's not something that we're interested in doing. But I was up on that roof. It is absolutely amazing that something from the early 1900s that large is still standing after being vacant for 10 or 15 years. So where do we begin when it comes down to what to remodel, what not to remodel, what we should keep, and what we should get rid of? I'm in the second property of ours right now, and this place it needs a full remodel. So every property that we buy, obviously they need work. But as you could see through the photos, through the video, it needs an entire remodel. It needs a new kitchen. The bathroom is actually in really good shape, but it needs new flooring. And what we tend to go with is stuff that does not require maintenance for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Meaning, we're gonna go with the vinyl plank floors instead of ceiling fans. We're just going to go to the bulb lights that are cheap, that are reasonably cost. We typically go with stainless steel sinks. We go with black appliances because they don't require as much touch-up. They don't get as damaged, and they're a lot cheaper than the stainless product. And then instead of redoing a lot of the drywall, a lot of the plaster work, what we're going to do is paint. We might panel some of the rooms, something with a brick texturing, kind of like what this is right here, just so it adds depth. When we paint it, no one will be able to tell the difference, and they'll actually see it more so as an accent wall. And when we remodel units like this, what ends up happening is we're able to command a premium on the rental rate, but we're not spending a boatload of money on the renovation. Our return on investment is significantly higher than if we were to put in granite counters and expensive custom cabinetry and hardwood floors and all these different things that tenants will eventually ruin. Because what you need to consider at the end of the day is, what type of tenant is this neighborhood going to attract? What type of tenant is a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom 1-bath unit going to attract? And then cater your rental property to their specific needs. So after that renovation is completed, I'm assuming we will probably lease that place up for about $1,600 per month. Our numbers look like this. We bought it for $62,000. You can fact check me, 107 West 11th Avenue in Oshkosh. We are going to probably stick 35, 40 into it. We stuck about 15 into siding, some window wraps, some windows. We're gonna be in for $90,000 rent for $1,700 a month, almost the 2% rule, which is insane in this market. Now this is going to be an amazing deal at the end of the day. It's gonna throw off several hundreds of dollars per month in cash flow. We have thousands and thousands of dollars in equity. And if you want to duplicate this system for yourself, you're going to want to start using Deal Machine, which I go over in this video on how you can replicate our system and process, call the owners, mail the owners, and have success for yourself. But I appreciate you watching. As always, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.